What's up, guys? There was a huge unconfirmed leak today, whether it be real, whether it be fake, who knows, but it was about Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. Whether that's 6th generation or 7th generation, no one knows. We won't know until tomorrow when the Pokemon Direct actually happens at 7 a.m. Pacific Time and 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States. And it's going to be looking really interesting. Now, again, we're not going to know what is actually announced till tomorrow. Pokemon is going to actually be holding a live stream of the actual announcement, I guess, for future Pokemon games this year, as well as the huge announcement for a new Pokemon game in which we were all speculating for. Now we have Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon that is leaked today, and a few days ago there was actually a leak about a Pokemon Rainbow, which people were like, oh, there's no way it could be Pokemon Rainbow. What is this? Well, Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, you know, can kind of create a rainbow, which kind of makes sense because it was just a code name for rainbow. That code name could simulate the moon and the sun. I don't know what that means for Pokemon 6th generation. 6th generation was so unfinished in my opinion, so I honestly don't think, in my opinion, that it confirms Generation 7. It just doesn't make any sense, and I'm going to explain that to you in this video, and I'm going to get into my speculations and assumptions as to what I think is going to be announced tomorrow in the stream. Okay, first off, the stream tomorrow is only 5 minutes long, so obviously they're probably going to have like a huge announcement in that 5 minute span. They're not going to waste anyone's time to just watch a 5-minute video or live stream for no reason. It has to be something big, and obviously it's going to be a main series game that's going to be announced, and I'm pretty confident saying that it actually is going to be announced tomorrow, whether it be Pokemon XZ, YZ, Pokemon Z, Pokemon Moon, Pokemon Sun, we don't know, but it most likely will be Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, as it was trademarked as of today by a European trademarking company, and I don't think the Nintendo is going to be with that law firm that actually let that leak or let that go through the trademark today when they're supposed to make the announcement tomorrow. But what do I think this means for Pokemon? Honestly, I think it's going to be the 6th generation still. The 6th generation is just way too unfinished. There's so many backstories and things that they could have done with Pokemon X and Y that they didn't do. We have Zygarde 10% form. It's in its 50% form in Pokemon Z and Pokemon Y, but we need its like complete form that is in like the anime. It's going to be in the movies. And there's AZ, the backstory for AZ, and you know, Hallie was evil, and also the Kingdom of Zelf and stuff like that. There's so many things, and the Magearna was just officially announced by Pokemon Company just a few days ago, and Magearna looks exactly like Diancie, so I can't really see them making a new Pokemon, be it Fairy Steel if it is that, for a new generation when it simulates Diancie to the T. I mean, just look at them. It just doesn't make any sense. So honestly, what I think is it is going to be a continuation of Generation 6. We only had like 70 new Pokemon in Generation 6. It was so incomplete, be it the backstories and the Pokemon list itself. We had 150 Pokemon in every single game up until Generation 6. It's just, it's really weird. And look at that. Look at the train station in Caraway City or Caraway Town. It's just there. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't make any sense. Like, there's so many things that need to be answered in Pokemon 6th generation, and we're left unanswered right now, but we might get that answer tomorrow. So what I think is going to actually happen, they're going to make a Generation 6.5. They're going to add the additional, like, 70 to 80 Pokemon to the actual game in the new games that do release in the fall, or be it this year, if it was spring. That's amazing, because we can use these new Pokemon in VGC and, you know, tournament play and, you know, whatnot. But I honestly think it's going to be Generation 6.5. Now, honestly, I have two theories on the fact of the matter. It could be two different things. It could be Generation 7, but I honestly think it's Generation 6.5, so I'm going to get into that right now. Honestly, there are so many places that you can't go in Pokemon Y and Pokemon Z. You can't go to, like, the power plant in the desert. You can't go to anywhere that train station is in Caraway Town. Honestly, I think there's going to be like a southern Kalos, because there was a leak earlier this week as well with a list of Pokemon. I think there was like 75, and it was a very interesting leak, and there was no legendary trio in this generation as well, and we had so many, every single generation had a legendary trio. And the legendary trios in this generation, or at least in this leaked list, represent time. I think there's like a quantum Pokemon there, and Sun and Moon kind of just tie together that with like time and space. I know they did that with like Dialga, Palkia, and Garantina, but I mean, there's so many things that you could do with time and space, Moon and Sun, and you know, it kind of makes sense. Also, Xerneas also represents life in turn, which represents the sun. The sun just gives off, you know, its rays and creates light and warmth, and it creates life for our planet, basically. Also, whereas Moon represents death, and death is represented by Yveltal, be it the dark flying Pokemon. So that could also be, like a homage to the actual Moon and Sun thing. And they don't need to call it Pokemon YZ, Pokemon XZ. They don't need to call it Pokemon Z. They don't necessarily need to call it those, you know, code names. Like, they can call it a perfectly new name. I mean, they could be throwing like a screwball at us. Why not just call it Moon and Sun? Make it, people think that is actually a 7th generation, but it's not. It's a continuation of the 6th generation. Now they can reveal all of Southern Kalos as like a new region that you can travel to. You can travel to, obviously, the original region of all of Kalos and travel to like the power plant. You can like take maybe like the train in Karaway town and then go to Southern Kalos, and that's how you'll like travel between the two. And then Southern Kalos will be that additional like land that you can actually travel through in this new game in the 6.5 generation. That's where you'll find like all the new Pokemon, and maybe they'll scatter around the areas, and maybe new Pokemon will be found in Northern Kalos as well. But I think it's going to be Pokemon 6.5. That's completely my opinion. Let's see what happens tomorrow. But we're also going to get into my other theory right now. Okay, my other theory is the fact that we're going to be getting 7th generation. That's a theory. That's a thought. That I came up with. Many people are coming up with this thought that is going to be 7th generation. They're saying 7th generation confirmed already on Twitter because it's called Sun and Moon, not taking into the fact that 6th generation is so unfinished, and Moon and Sun can easily be represented by Yveltal and Xerneas. But who knows? But what I think is, my secondary thought, my original thought is it's Pokemon 6.5, that it could be 7th generation, and what could happen is, just like in Pokemon Silver and Gold, you can actually travel to, like, another region. Well, not travel to another region, travel from another region into Kalos, because what they could do is create a new region with a new 150 Pokemon, and then what you could do is you can travel from that region to Kalos, and have like a restricted Kalos like you did with Johto and Kanto. The Kanto really wasn't the Kanto it was in like green, blue, and red, but you could still travel to it. And then, like, you could have that be the same thing in, like, the 7th generation. Like, you have the region, and then you could have, like, you go to Kalos, and then you can kind of, like, continue the story that they didn't finish in Kalos, like, with the Zygarde forms, Volcanion, the power plant, and they kind of finish it up that way, and then still make a 7th generation, meanwhile still finishing up the unfinished part of Kalos in the 6th generation. Or they could also just come up straight up with the 7th generation, because people weren't really content with what they did with the 6th generation and how unfinished it was and how much time that they didn't look like they put into the game. And that could very well be it, and they're just moving to the 7th generation, putting the 6th generation right behind them, even though I would love the 6th generation, so I'd love for them to come out with the 6.5. But that could still be the fact, and what they're doing is they could be just continuously doing the 6th generation plot and like the story, and following through with that through anime and the movies, and just saying, we're going to call it quits after this, we're making a new generation for a video game, and that's how they're going to handle it. But honestly, that to me, like, Karaway Town is just a dead giveaway that you can travel to either another part of Kalos, be it Southern Kalos, or you can just travel to another region overall. It just leaves, like, they may have done that on purpose to actually allow them to do something like this in the future. They didn't even probably have an idea as to what they were going to do in the future, but this is literally like going to be 3 years later, so they could have had the idea, but that leaves it open for, a lot more, room to add like another region or part of the region that they can go to. I'm tired. That they can go to. And that's pretty much it. I honestly think it's going to be Pokemon 6.5. They're going to have like Southern Kalos, and you can travel between the two of them with the train. Or they could just come out with 7th generation, can it, and then go can the 6th generation, go throughout the 6th generation in movies and anime, and then make a new generation, and then maybe you can travel to Kalos through that trainway. No one knows, but don't miss that stream. It's going to be 7 a.m. Pacific time and then 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning on Friday, February 26th. You cannot miss it, and Pokemon Day is the day after that. That's going to be it. I'm sorry that I really wasn't as informative in this video. This is kind of like a speculation video, but I'm really tired and I've been working all week. That's why I haven't coming out with the videos. But I'm going to be doing a live reaction of the video that I come out tomorrow with the announcement and stuff like that. So I really can't wait until we come out with that announcement, and then I'll do like a follow-up discussion about that, maybe some more speculation, because I do like to speculate a lot as to what can happen for future Pokemon games. But anyway, that's it for today's video, guys. Please take care and enjoy tomorrow's stream. Bye.